Okay. Oh, wait, no, here we go. There's dwarves here. Dwarves here that aren't... Oh.
The sound of approaching hoofbeats made Meave turn to see Reynard spurring on his panting horse, galloping at a breakneck speed towards her.
Ill tidings I bring, your grace.
Clearly. Glad tidings never arrive with such urgency.
Our scouts captured a Nilfgaardian messenger. He was traveling in disguise, and by night. When he realized his capture was imminent, he strove to destroy the letters he carried. We were able to salvage some, in parts.
Anything of interest?
Yes, there is, I fear. Your Majesty, you must listen. Consider your offer accepted. Direct Meave and her force to the agreed site. We await their arrival. Your reward shall be as agreed. Hail Keritsa.
A traitor. We might have expected as much. Nilfgaard has shown amply that it abides only by the rules it sets. Since they have not proved able to defeat me in the field, in open battle, they seek other means. I suppose the scroll bears no name.
It does not, your grace.
Sneaky. Have you interrogated the captive?
The messenger. Have you questioned him?
Naturally, your grace. Alas, he knows not to whom the letter is directed. He was to leave it in an agreed spot.
I take it tidings of the whole affair have spread throughout the force?
Yes, your Majesty. The witnesses were too many to keep this fact a secret.
We must thus assume the traitor in our ranks knows it as well, and will make no attempt to retrieve the scroll. A dead end.
Have
we any other
clues?
leads or clues?
None, I fear, your Majesty. We must be alert. Keep a keen eye on events as they unfold, and exercise great caution in forging new acquaintances.
Very well. Eyes wide open, all senses attuned. Yours in particular, Reynard.
Of course, my liege.
A traitor in the ranks. It's not great. Oh. Yeah, we'll grab this first. Oh, my men are sad that there's a traitor. Oh no. And after we had that great party.
Get up. I would, your Majesty, but my arse is frozen to the ground.
That's nice.
Riding past a mine, Meave noticed a group of miners gathered around the entrance to a shaft. Frost had settled on their moustaches and beards, suggesting they had been there for some time. The Queen summoned Gabor and asked him to determine the reason for this sit-in. He returned after a few minutes and announced the most curious thing.
They're waiting for the knocking to stop.
Knocking?
Meave's frown prompted Gabor to explain in greater detail.
According to our laws, dwarves can't go into a mine if there's knocking coming from inside. We're obliged to wait for the ruckus to quieten down.
Ah, yes. Our own miners share this superstition.
Reynard interjected.
They say the knocking is that of a treasurer gnome, a kind of mine ghost.
Treasure unknown.
With all due respect, your miners are dimwits.
Gabor said, patting Reynard on the shoulder.
Knocking means an imminent and abrupt discharge of the potential pliable energy of rock formations. In other words, you can, a rock burst. Except usually it's all done in a day or two, whereas these lads have been waiting going on 2 weeks. Foreman's grown impatient. He'd like to send someone down the shaft, have them see what's at issue, but, well, the code forbids us from doing anything of the sort.
But we're humans, so...
If in this manner I can gain favor among your brethren,
Sighed the Queen, dismounting.
so be it. I shall descend and see what the problem is.
The shaft was too narrow to fit an entire army. So Meave and a small unit of men entered the mine, miners' lamps in hand, and hearts in their mouths. The rhythmic knocking coming from the bowels of the mountains, distorted and multiplied, was unnerving. Soon the company arrived at the place that seemed the source of the knocking. Gabor put his ear to the rock and listened for several moments in silence, then struck the wall with all his might. The wall crumbled with a crash, opening a passage into another corridor, from which sprang numerous foes.
What are they, though? Milfs? Are they? Into the darkness of the abandoned mine shaft, it was impossible to discern who stood against Meave's horses. It was clear only that they were men, or at least something taking their form, imitating their voices. Knowing her sword was too large to thrust into this tight shaft, she threw it to the ground and reached for her dagger. Why not just leave it in your hilt? Oh, my men. Yeah, because the trader, right? Get rid of you. 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 Get rid of you.
Did you hear
Shadowy
something? What was
silhouette.
that?
My gnome senses are telling me those definitely aren't ghosts.
Okay, cool senses, I guess. Drummer boy?
Again and again and again.
What, we just have to beat them? Oh,
Who goes there? Drop your weapons!
I got
Nay,
LT.
you drop yours!
My AL's animated. Let's give him an old
You mad? Don't say that!
archer. Are you mad? Don't shake that. Oh. I'm gonna waste it.
Who just grabbed me?
Oh, apologies, Maeve. I thought you were Reynard.
Oh, are you trying to grab Reynard?
As ordered.
Drummer. Okay, gives me Hubbo
My
Gym.
spirit's willing and how, but
Gives me a
these
drummer.
damn things are killing me.
And then we'll... I want to knock them, but I don't want to knock them out of the fire. Hip, hip, hip. Every time I start, so try using some something with the last power. Okay, drummer.
Company! Forward march!
Drummer.
This
Fireboy.
could hurt.
That's what we want. Hubbo.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow,
Drummer.
and a time to die.
Hubbo.
Aye.
Then let's play a drummer.
Left, right,
I think I can get one more
left,
card in each row.
right.
Okay, another silhouette. It's fine. I'm gonna
Give
get
me
some
a touch.
here. Yeah. Yes. So we can only get you out. Let's heal boost. Play something in this row, please. Oh. So we just win?
Stop! Stop! We surrender!
I wonder if they are.
Both sides were surprised. Both fought in the weak light of torches, nearly down on hands and knees. In the end, the Queen emerged victorious, and as soon as she had returned her sword to its sheath, she asked the new prisoners a question that was on everyone's mind.
Who the devils are you?
The captives looked at each other in disbelief, as if before them stood a ghost. Finally, one of them managed to choke out a response.
Your Highness, we're your subjects.
Meve recognized the accent at once.
What?
The men came from Rivia. But what were they doing so far from home? According to the prisoner's account, after the Nilfgaardians' invasion of their kingdom, terrible poverty gripped the land. Seeking bread, some desperate inhabitants had gone to the mountains of Mahakam, engaging in wildcat mining in search of precious ores.
Oh.
Without asking the dwarves what they thought of this,
You know yourself, my queen.
explained one captured Riv.
They guard their treasure real jealous-like, don't care a whit about the suffering of others. They see us starving down in valley and don't lift a stubby finger.
Okay, but what have you done with them?
Sadly, the Rivians had dug close to existing corridors. When Gabor destroyed the wall that stood between them and the dwarves, they were convinced they were being attacked by monsters, so they raised arms in self-defense,
Maeve, 'tis a tough nut to ken,
said Gabor.
but let's nae kid ourselves. These men are thieves, and we must hand them over to the Mahakaman Guard.
So they may do what? Sentence them to hard labor, or hang them at once.
Said Reynard, his usual calm shaken and his voice raised.
These are your subjects, Queen. They coveted their neighbors' goods, true, but only because they had nought themselves.
They can leave as long as they
The
don't
foreman
rob.
wished for the knocking to stop,
Said the Queen.
and so it shall. As for you, go back to Rivia, and tell all their queen shall soon return, leading an army.
The grateful Rivs quickly packed up their tools and left the mountains. Meve had no doubt Bruva Hoog would soon learn of the affair and would certainly not approve of her decision. Yet she preferred to face the Elder's wrath than send her subjects to a dwarven prison, or possibly to their death.
If they were MILFs, I would hand them over.
Well, boys, a wee swig and we get back to work.
Get back to work, you dwarves. What's this? Oh. New mark added. Mine. Okay, so like... What's this? Hello? Hello? My queen. Oh, I don't have gold. My queen. This building houses the Bank of Clan Zagrin. The bank claims that should we invest now, in a few months' time, it was worth an increase threefold. We'll invest a little bit. We don't have anything else. Okay. What's this? Ooh, pray. We don't need to pray. What's this? Milady. We spotted gold down there among the debris. Yeah, we'll do it. Because then we can just pray instantly. Cheer me men back up. What's this? Is this a point of interest? It is. Your Majesty, something dwells in the house. A beast that burns red with eyes of glowing fear. Perhaps God, something worth... Okay. We finished the tainted ale. Let's have a look. Tainted ale. Where are you? Ale? Mark unit boosted by 10 after you turn, turns out to destroy the unit. No.